Okay, so today I'm playing a little bit of Stern Meteor. This is one I picked up in the last couple of weeks, I guess. Played a little bit, had to rebuild the flipper mix because they were sloppy and not much fun. And it's a good fun game. Also drop targets, lots of spinners. The best strategy is not super complicated, but it can be hard to kind of pull off. So it's still pretty fun. Lots of good flipper skills and ball control. The basic strategy is where the points come from, I guess I should say, is the spinner. If you clear the drop targets in the Meteor bank at the very top, they light the spinner for increasing values. So the M and the R are worth 600 points per spin, and the middle letters are worth 200 per spin. But if you drop too many of them, the bank resets, and therefore your spinning goes back to a low value. So the goal is to drop almost all of them, but not absolutely all of them, and then rip the spinner. Now the drop targets around the playfield are related to bonus. That reset my drop targets. The inlanes and the stand-up can be lit for spot Meteor target, which will spot, I think it's random, I'm not entirely sure, or spot one of the Meteor drop targets, which can end up resetting your spinner, which is not too bad, because each time you complete the drop target bank for Meteor, it increases your bonus multiplier up to a maximum of 7x. So my basic strategy is if the ball's on the left flipper, I just spam the spinner, assuming I can find that shot again. And if it's on the right flipper, I just kind of wail on the 2 bank up here, because the 2 bank will often ricochet up to the Meteor drop targets anyway. So okay. Completely lost that shot. Okay. That was too early. There we go. So it's not a very juicy spinner rip because I had no drop targets down at all, so it was 200 points to spin. That at least was 400 points to spin, still not worth very much. Yeah, so that time I cleared a bunch more drop targets. Reset the bank, sadly. Spinner rebounded back down. So I get the ball safely back down to the flipper. Okay. The background music is quite delightful. Just an increasing tone the longer the ball plays up. In lane to out lane, boo. working on selling a couple of pinball machines, and got people busy messaging me. I'd like to get them sold so I can have some more room. Drop targets. Live by the drop targets. Die by the drop targets. Come back here. Apparently I tilted. I don't really know what's going on there. There's the tilt bob. I guess I'm just being a little bit vicious on the cabinet. May not be centered or something. Okay, so once again we're back to drop targets, preferably the M and the R, and then one or two of the middle ones. Okay, so we've got one target left, which means the spinner is at its maximum value. The trick is to not roll over the... The trick is not to roll over the in lane when you do that. Okay, so the spinner is at almost maximum value. What is that? 1400 points a spin, something like that? No, that's wrong. 1800 points a spin. Basically just spam that all day. And try and get the ball back safely back to the flipper. And it's a good reason to keep at least one drop target up, right? Because if you can keep one drop target up, then the spot Meteor target being lit doesn't completely hose you. Oh, under the flipper. So when I play, I basically just ignore the bonus, which is kind of a mistake. Part of the reason I do that is maximum bonus is what is that? 150,000 or something like that, which is not nothing, but getting the bonus multiplier up to the maximum means it resets at the end of the ball. So in practice, you want to keep the bonus multiplier below 5x. So then the maximum bonus multiplier is only 105,000, which is still not nothing. The drop targets on the side banks are not quite as safe as the spinner, basically. In theory, if you have all of the bonus at the same level, then it lights one of the wow targets on the various drop targets for an extra ball. In practice, a bunch of my the insert lights are not working for those targets, so I can never tell if the extra ball is lit, and if it is, where it is lit. So I just kind of ignore it and treat it as like a random extra ball that happens sometimes. I do intend to look at that at some point, but it doesn't really affect my gameplay, so I've just been living with it. I feel like maybe the extra balls being that available would be a little bit easier. I'm not sure. Trust the center post. Come on. Good clean spinner rips. And this has the updated ROM that somebody released 3 or 4 years ago, which fixes a couple of bugs in the original game code, particularly around like bonus countdowns, where in some situations the bonus countdown would incorrectly assume that you have a 255 times bonus multiplier, which is not really desired. Okay, so now the spinner is maxed out. Let's try and get the ball back to the flipper. It's not quite what I was going for. That's not quite it either. And then bail out, I ended up in-lane switch. So even if you get the spinner maxed out, it can be tricky to take advantage of it because these sneaky little targets and in-lane switches that reset it. Hey there, Basetown. How's it going? Yeah, Meteor is a lot of fun. It's one of those games where the rule set is nice and simple, and like it's just about mastering it, and it's super satisfying to get some good spinner rips on it. And you can't just light the spinner rip it all day because like random things will end up resetting it on you. So you have to constantly kind of work at it. Just got finished fixing an Elvira House of Horrors and a Pulp Fiction. Oh, that's cool. What was wrong with those? Are both pretty new games. Like, is it just from a lot of plays means stuff needs to be tweaked, or are they like manufacturing issues you have to work around, or what? Okay, maxed out spinner. How do I get the ball back to the flipper safely? If I drop it, sometimes it comes down safely. Other times it goes into the slings and causes me pain. Had a screw back out on the ramp mech. Oh wow. Yeah, those mechs, when like you have one small thing come out and you've got to disassemble like a bunch of playfield features to reach them, are such an absolute bear.
Hey, Sean.
Problem I had working on this game recently when I was rebuilding the flippers was I kept on dropping like the coil stop screws, and they would end up getting dropped into the drop target bank, the Meteor drop target bank at the back. And in order to get them out, I had to like remove the lamp board that's in front of it in order to actually get a magnet down inside of the drop target mech to get to find the screw out. And if I was clever, I would have just left the lamp board detached until I was finished working on the flippers. But I was like, surely I'm not going to make this mistake again, and ended up having to do it multiple times. Sitting on the full playfield on the front of the cabinet to fix those flipper mechs. Yeah, I can see that. What I've done in the past is put the playfield on some sawhorses next to the cabinet, but I'm tight on space at the moment, so I don't have enough room to do that. Trying to get some games sold so I have some room to work on the ones I have left. I really like the updated game code ROM on this, which shows you the number of spins for each rip in the I guess it's the ball and play display. I always find that pretty satisfying to look up and be like, oh, that was like 70 spins or something stupid. I think I tilted. I think I'm being a little bit too shovey with the cabinet. Come back down here. I need to get better at getting control of the ball without sending it back into the in lanes when I have all of the drop targets but one down. Okay. That's nice. It's always fun getting a score just below 1,000,000, just below rolling it. Slowly drive up the high score. I need to figure out when I can trust the cook pass on this as well. I couldn't do it at all before I rebuilt the flippers because the flippers had way too much give and they just killed the momentum of the ball. And I think I can do it from right to left because the post is slightly off center. There's only like certain, yeah, there we go, certain energy levels. Like it needs to have just enough energy for it to work. Yeah, so like that was slightly too much, so it kind of rolled into the back of the flipper instead. Oh, the coke pass is like, I don't know if I like trust it doing it in like competition or anything like that, but it's pretty funny when it works. Just roll it over, and sometimes you gotta give it like a slight nudge to get it up and over, but other times the angle is just right. I keep on like rolling up the in lane. Come back down here. Oh, cool, the spammers are here. Yeah, so ball control without getting the balls into the in lanes is what I want to figure out. I feel like I'm not doing a great job of it. Okay, come back down here. That's not what I was after. $38. I love that center post. It's so much fun. Just gotta have the faith, right? Straight into the outlane. I played in a tournament at the Golden State Pinball Festival last weekend, and I was pretty stoked to see that they had a Meteor in the lineup. And I played my first game on it, and it was absolutely atrocious because, like, they had the outlane posts removed, and the flippers were kind of set kind of at a weird angle compared to what I was used to, and I couldn't get the ball under control, so I put up like 150,000 or something stupid, so I was good for like 3rd place on my first game. Then we came back to it, and I kind of got the hang of it a little bit, and people were very surprised to learn you could get extra balls on it. And I was very close to rolling it, which I was like, I didn't do super great in the tournament, but like I was very happy to have like a good game on a game that I knew. Like I was very, it's nice at least when you can have like at least one solid game, even if the rest of it's kind of a miserable experience. I'll come back here. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Northern California, kind of north of Napa, in the middle of nowhere. I really enjoyed the Golden State Pinball Festival. Like, I didn't get to play everything I wanted to play, but I played a lot of games that I don't see very often. Played a lot of games that I've seen on like people playing on stream on tournaments or whatever. Spent some time with Barracuda, and it was like a really nice restoration somebody had done on a Barracuda with like a brand new playfield and a repainted cabinet, and it was very cool. I also played it was like a really well done Bally Xenon restoration as well that I was pretty, it's not my favorite game in the world, but it was like a really well done restoration job on it. Down in Santa Maria. Yeah, that's a bit of a way to travel. It's like 2.5 hours from here, and with the family that's still a bit of a hike. I ended up taking 3 games to the show this year. I was trying to sell all of them, managed to sell 1 of them. Seems like not many games were sold at this year's show. Come back down to my flipper, please. I would like to not reset the drop targets, but I did anyway. I'd like to hit that spinner, please. Lost the spinner shot, come on. Guess I'll get the... Lost it again. Come back down here. Left flipper. There we go. All I have to do is hit the spinner, and it will stop yelling at me. was not really what I was going for. I had more juice on it. Did not quite work. Rolled it on bonus. One thing I noticed yesterday when I was looking at this is that this has like a mixture of two different styles of drop targets. So I'm guessing some of them are replaced at various points. All of the Meteor bank has like kind of like a lip on top, whereas the other ones are a mix of like straight rectangles. And there's two that have the lip on top like the Meteor one. So I'm guessing that the rectangular ones are the originals and the other ones are like reproductions. Maybe using a different era's target body. Does not really seem to matter for, like, they all seem to drop relatively well. I think maybe the direct hits, they kind of don't do quite so well, and they tend to do like the belly thing where they direct hits, they don't drop. You've got to hit them kind of on like a little bit of an angle sometimes.
Hey, Turkey, trying, baby.
Yeah, I think this is... I'm going to change this from 5-wall play to 3-wall play. And I think 5-wall was like the factory default. I need to tweak that because this is playing like a little bit long. I shouldn't be putting up like 1,000,000 points a game. And then I'll probably pull the outlane posts as well at some point because that'll help with getting better at it for tournaments. That was a dumb shot, like just flipping it away when I should have got it under control. Are there any big, like kind of pinball conventions or festivals down in SoCal? Like I know there's Indisc, but I think, is that more of a tournament thing or is that also a kind of a show as well? Never been to it. Almost managed to backhand the spinner there on the fly. Hey Ben, how's it going? No, I bought this one a couple of weeks before Golden State. On my periodic times when I go through Pinside and like, I really want to buy I posted on a forum thread that I want to buy a Bally or Stern from the late 70s, early 80s, and then I get messages from a bunch of different people that aren't really willing to go to the effort of listing their games, but are willing to like go to the effort of sending me a message. And that's how I got both. I got Paragon that way. I got the Stern Lightning I picked up recently that way, and I got this one. So it's like highly recommended way of finding games. A lot of people will just like will sell if you ask them to, but won't really kind of proactively list games. So. Meteor, there was a Meteor there, but it was in the tournament room. So this one's kind of okay. The playfield has some like random wear. The cabinet, the artwork is kind of it's mostly in good shape, but the front corner where one of the legs is kind of delaminated a bit, so it's now full of super glue. So it's kind of holding in place at least. It plays pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Also, like, the guy was nice enough to bring it to me and deliver it, so I was pretty happy with that. Didn't have to go driving around. Actually, the guy I bought it from was at the Pinball Festival, and I saw him like volunteering a few times. Come back here. Yeah, I do feel like these old games, with like the very simple rule sets and kind of like very simple objectives, have been amazing for like helping improve my flipper skills, because like they're not designed to be like long playing games. So if you miss your shots, it's all about like recovery, and maybe there's like one very valuable shot and there's a bunch of other shots you can make that are not very valuable. So you want to get the ball to the correct flipper at the right time or whatever, and like I found them super rewarding in that sense. Like just it's kind of like almost like drills for pinball, right? And I feel like it's helped a lot, and I'm playing even on newer games. Okay, so spinner is now maxed out. All I need to do is rip it. There we go. 56 spins. That's not bad. Yeah, the rules on this are pretty straightforward. There's 4 banks of drop targets. Basically the idea is that the Meteor targets in the back, each of them scores points, like thousands of points, and then lights the spinner. So the M and the R targets are worth 6,000 points and light the spinner for 600 points per spin. The ones in between, the E, T, E, O, are worth 2,000 points and light the spinner for 200 extra points. But when you complete the bank resets and the spinner resets. So you want to drop all the drop targets except for 1 or 2 of the middle ones, and then rip the spinner as much as you can. And the 3 other banks basically build the corresponding line of bonus. Completing the Meteor bank builds the bonus multiplier up to 7x. And there are there's a stand-up, the inlane targets, and 3 star rollovers at the back, and those each, when they're lit, will spot a Meteor target. So right now the inlanes are both lit for spot Meteor target, and since I have 1 Meteor target standing up, if I hit those, it's going to reset my bank and make my spinner worth nothing. So I need to get the ball from the right flipper to the left flipper without resetting my bank of targets. So I don't really know what my best plan is here. Like, I guess I could try a tap pass and just like make an absolute mess of it. Let's see if that works. Nope, that was too much gas. So I'm going to reset my bank. wonder if I can kirk pass from a... Can I kirk pass from a cradle? Let's try this. Almost worked. Maybe a kirk pass from a cradle is the trick there. Just give it a bit of a nudge to give it some energy to get back up on the flipper. So if you can find ways to get the ball, if you can safely move the ball between flippers without resetting the drop targets, you can quite safely just spam the spinner over and over and over again. But it's not as easy as it seems to get the ball safely back to the left flipper without resetting things. So, okay, let's try an aggressive nudge. Nope. I didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Maybe the tap pass is the solution. If the left end lane's not lit, I can just chats it. Stand up. Absolute biffit. Okay, so now all but 2 of the drop targets are down, which means the spinner is... why did I do that? I was trying to get the ball under control and I just flipped it away. It was a bad idea. So, yeah, okay. The tap pass feels kind of floppy. It doesn't feel crisp like it does on some of my other games. But it is kind of controllable. Ugh. Need to get back in the habit of, like, don't flip for no reason, because if you flip for no reason, you end up flipping the ball into sketchy places. Like that last flip there, I just chipped it into the out lane for no reason at all. Okay. The spinner hadn't stopped, so I missed it. Would have been amazing! Would have been a thing of beauty. Power drain, that's too bad. Yeah, at the moment I'm kind of busy shopping for pinball machines up near New Hampshire and kind of on the way back from New Hampshire, because I'm doing a bit of a road trip in the next week or so. I have to go and help my mother-in-law empty out her sister and brother-in-law's house, because they passed away a few years ago. Well, not a few years ago. They passed away at the end of last year. And I'm going to drive a truck back from New Hampshire. And I may as well take advantage of the truck to fill up with empty space up with pinball machines on the way. Yeah, it's going to be a long drive. I'm going to stop in, like, it's kind of like, where does it go? I'm not gonna buy John Wick. I am gonna go via Chicago, because I mean Chicago is kind of like on the direct route from here, right? So I'll probably go via Chicago and try and I might play in a tournament if there's anything on the day I go past, which I think there is, because I might have set up my schedule so that I go past on a day there's a tournament on, and I'm gonna stop. I think I go past Buffalo, Chicago, and then Salt Lake City are the 3 bigger places with pinball that I'll go past. Yeah, Interium is the one that has the tournament. I think their monthly tournament is on the Monday or the Tuesday I go past there, so I'm gonna stop in for that. I was looking for tournaments because I was like, if I'm gonna play, it would be fun to play some tournaments because I can play games, no problem at all. But tournaments are kind of fun. But it doesn't look like any of the places I'm going have tournaments in the start of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of time frame. They're all later in the week. So, okay, I'm in this problem again. I need to get the ball back to the left flipper. Maybe I just ignore that and just go for some stand-ups. And drain it. Yeah, so that was a bad idea. Your Elton John still has it not shipped yet, or is it shipped and you're waiting on the distributor to kind of get it to you? Next Friday, 31st. Okay. It's not too far to wait. Do you have space for it, or do you need to, spare out some machines to make room for it? Oh well, yeah. Having the new game there for that gathering sounds like it'd be pretty fun. You might be able to call and put some pressure on on Chris. I wonder if is next Friday dictated by when it arrives to them, or just by their schedule in general? Because I feel like you buy enough games from them that maybe they would, if they have any control over it, they would try and be accommodating for you. Yeah, actually, I played in the tournament I was in at Golden State. Jeannie, who works at Pinball Pirate and does a lot of the admin stuff there, I played against her in a couple of games. She's very nice. Again, I flipped it away over the back here, and it's yeah, I can see Elton John being super exciting for, it's kind of a more relatable theme for a lot of people, I guess, than Godzilla or Jurassic Park even. It's kind of interesting to talk to non-pinball people and see what kind of themes they're into. Oh, okay, they are being accommodating already. Yeah, okay, well, that's nice at least. When I had my brother's family come and visit over Christmas, and they were here for 2 or 3 weeks, and Venom was the most popular game of the Stearns for them. I'm not sure it was necessarily the theme was popular with my nephew, who's 12 or 13 or whatever. Comic books are pretty popular with him, but I felt like the game is just less punishing and easier to understand for new players in some ways. Because you can see where the balls are going, you can see where all the shots are. It's a lot less confusing than Jurassic Park or whatever. Like it was like the most played games that I had were Grand Prix, the old electromechanical, and Venom, which was it wasn't what I predicted anyway. People liked Foo Fighters too, but it's a lot harder. Like, I feel like it's a lot more punishing than that was a great rip. That was a perfect Kirk pass right there. Yeah, I feel like Foo Fighters was kind of punishing in comparison because, like, there's a couple of shots that if you can't make them, like, you can't really progress in the game very well. And like, you can get the Overlord multi-ball pretty easily by bashing the, like, lock the ball, bash the ball. People get the hang of that pretty quickly. But then, like, the next Overlord multi-ball is like so far away. The right ramp is really hard to hit for the Area 51 multi-ball unless you're, like, you gotta have a certain level of skill for that. And the left ramp is just it's a hard shot, and if you're trying to forehand it, which is the obvious way to do it, like, you brick and you drain. So yeah, it's whereas like Venom, if you just spam the like the center ramps over and over again, like any three of the ramps, and then the scoop, like, stuff will happen eventually. There's only like 6 shots in the game. If you hit them repeatedly, eventually things will happen. So it was not a great game. Too busy running my mouth. What did I roll? I don't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. Maybe I need to put the 7-digit displays on here after all. Go to the instant replay to see if my score was any good. But yeah, if you end up needing to free up some space and want to get rid of your Godzilla at any point, I might have some space for it soon, so let me know. That was dumb. Just absolutely flailing at the ball, completely making a mess of it. Hooray, Godzilla. I played a couple of games of Godzilla at the Pinball Festival, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I have not quite figured out, like, what you need to do to qualify modes or start modes or anything like that. But, like, the strategy of maximum fun, which is basically just, like, combo ramps, got me a decent amount of points. So I was pretty happy with that. Like, I'm sure that once I can actually figure out, like, what the objectives are, there's a lot more points on the table. Like, I know that eventually, like you like the scoop to start modes or whatever, or start cities or battles or whatever the terminology is. But, like, I don't really know what you have to do to get to that point. But yeah, I was just like spam ramps, spam the loop, like comboing the loop is like super satisfying. So. Oh, so it's easy, just whack the ramp a lot and eventually you'll start the battles. Okay. But yeah, I played a bunch of Bond too. Like, Bond's another one where I don't really understand what I have to do to make anything happen, but, like, just by hitting the shots that feel fun, like, eventually stuff happens. If you keep the ball alive long enough, you put up some points. I had my best ever game of Bond, and it was, I started playing it 15 minutes before the show closed, and I had to drain my final ball because I wanted my game to end before they pulled the power to the machines, because they were walking around pulling the power cords out of the machines at show close. So I had to drain to let my score counted for Insider Connected. Geigen's easiest because more ramps. It's not about what's easiest. It's about where's the most points. It's all about the points. I actually don't know what like. Sometimes easiest does mean more points because you actually complete it. But yeah. Maybe that's the right pass. A micro flip to get the ball moving, and then Kirk pass it across. With words of different count-based milestones. Okay. Yeah, Bond is like, I know it was released with like super rough code, and the rules were kind of terrible. But I played it a couple of times, and like, the first couple of times I didn't make it far enough to really know what I was doing, and I still don't really know what I'm doing. But like, there's lots of fun shots in it. Like, there's some fun ball paths and stuff, and yeah, I think you said you went to the. I guess you didn't go to the MXV session at the Pinball Festival, but you chatted to him after or while you were playing Bond, and he gave you some pointers about it, which is pretty neat. Someone messaged me asking if I want to trade any of my pinball machines for sale for slot machines. It's like, what would I possibly do with a slot machine? Slot machines are not fun when there's a possibility of winning actual money. Like, why would I don't understand why you'd want a slot machine in your house. I guess I could get a slot machine and make it a way, that can be how I pay my children their allowance. I'm sure there's a lesson of some sort in there for them. Yeah. Quick pass. Quick pass is the new meta. Who needs tap passes or alley passes when you can intentionally use the center post? Yeah, I don't know if the designer of this game is Steve Kirk, and I don't know if the geometry of the post is intentional, and if it's intentionally set up for passing it like that, but it's positioned that if the momentum is just right, it'll happily bounce from right to left and left to right off that post. It doesn't work because one of the drop targets dropped for no reason. The post is slightly off center, which means that the velocity you need is slightly different on left to right, for right to left, but it's super satisfying. And there's like the whole when the ball's coming from up on the playfield, like there's so much. It's hard to read if it's going to hit the post, and if it's going to be savable off the post, or if it's going to. If trusting the post is just going to ruin your day. Come back here. Come on. Oh, come on. Those haven't crept up on me. I'm not sure if I've played the Pro of 007. I've played... I think the only ones I've played have been Premiums and LEs, but I'm not 100% sure. Also, I mean, I played Rush and really enjoyed it. Like, I played it at the Pinball Festival last year, but I was super new to pinball though, like at this time last year, because I only started playing in like April last year, and like Rush just kicked my ass because like there's like the pop bumpers are like relatively low down, and there's some shots around, like a shot through the pop bumpers, and like my accuracy was so bad I couldn't do it. And but this year I played it and I really enjoyed it. Like I still had no idea what's going on, but like that's one of the ones that like now if I want to find it on location so I can put some games on it. I want to understand how it works. Same thing with Iron Maiden. I've played before because my work had one in a game room. So when I was down in the Bay Area for work, I spent my afternoons camped out there on Iron Maiden. So I have a little bit more understanding of how that one works. But like I haven't played it in 6 months, and it's really enjoyable. And I want to find one of those to spend more time on too. Avengers is, of the recent Stearns I've played, is like my least favorite. Drops seem to resist dropping. Yeah, like a lot of the drop targets from like Bally games of this era are super famous for it, where the drop targets, if you hit them directly, like direct onwards, and square and fast, like they don't drop, they kind of bounce back and they stay in place. And some of the drop targets in this game are kind of like that, particularly the Meteor ones at the top, off the upper flipper. So it's kind of an art to hitting them where you need to kind of hit them on a slight angle in order to actually drop them, which is, you get used to it. I think some of the drop target designs are more susceptible to it than others, and it's probably not obvious from the stream, but there's actually two different types of drop targets in this game, because some are, I think, are originals, like these two on the left here, the first two ones, and the next ones are a reproduction that has a slightly different shape to it, and I think some of them drop more easily than others. So, like that was, I hit the M very clearly there, but it did not drop. And that was me trusting the center post when I shouldn't have. Yeah, Iron Maiden has a pop lowdown. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I put up my best ever score on Avengers yesterday. I haven't played it in forever, and I was like, I'm gonna play a quick game before I tuck my girls into bed. And I was like, I'll play Avengers because like usually it kicks my ass, and my games are like super short. So 40 minutes later, when I was still just starting ball 3, I had to take a break to go get them into bed. And I put up 1.2 billion, and I left a lot of points on the table because I completely failed at stacking modes with multi-balls. Both Thor multi-ball and Iron Man multi-ball, I started the multi-ball when I was trying to make had the stupid disc to start the mode. 63 spins on that spinner. I haven't even like oiled the spinner or anything. Brutal. Yeah, for whatever reason, Avengers just doesn't like click with me. Like, I don't know, like I play it, and even like when I'm getting lots of points, like I don't really feel like I'm enjoying it a hell of a lot. I don't really know why that is. Also, I've never played a pro, and I wonder if the pro is like I wonder if there's just the combination of the Captain Marvel ramp and the uppy downy disc thing. Like, I wonder if those things just frustrate me enough that like maybe without those things I would tolerate it more. I have tweaked the ramp enough now that like it's a lot more makeable than it was, but it's still not like it's not easy. Kind of makes me wonder, like, what is the steering game that has the biggest, like, actual real-world point differential between Pro and Premium, and because of like the changes in gameplay? Because obviously you start modes, gem quests, sorry, in very different places on the Premium versus the Pro. And I wonder how that kind of changes game times and success rates and scores and all that. I guess they have Insider Connected, they can tell these things. I played Foo Fighters at the Pinball Festival for the first time since I sold mine. Once during the tournament, and it was on a copy that was so ridiculous. The setup on it was so ridiculously hard. It was like very, very steep, and there was no ball save to speak of. So like even on multi-balls, you were kind of screwed. Have a good one, Ben. I'll catch you some other time. That was a terrible first ball. Yeah, I played Foo Fighters in the tournament, and it was brutal. And I played a copy on the the festival floor, and it was like it was on it had such a leftwards lean to it that it was like unpleasant to play. It was still easier to play than the tournament copy because it wasn't intentionally bad, but it was like the feeds were just so wonky because the game wasn't level. Cool. Let's clear out that M. straighten the ball. Trying to be clever, trying to nudge it across, but didn't have enough energy to get there. Come on. The M target is so hard to hit because the direct hits off the upper flipper are almost always too strong for it. Come on. Spinner rip. It's so satisfying, this spinner. I love it. I wonder if I'd have the guts to try the correct pass in a tournament. I guess it's something you do if you have practice, 30 seconds of practice. Try a correct pass, see what happens. Oh, come on, I keep on doing that. I keep holding my flipper up for too long. It's an absolute throw. I thought that was going to bounce. I should have nudged it. Come on. Okay, gotta drop the drop targets again, I reset them. That's one way to do it, holy crap. Sadly they're immediately reset. Bonus. Must have had a little bonus then, because I think the multiplier reset. I need to practice that bailout shot to like to the opposing in lane, like the alley pass bailout, especially on these Bally Stern games with like the round flippers, like the wider flipper tips. It seems like it's actually like pretty safe to kind of get down there. "54 spins. Flipper of a mall. Trying to refrain from flipping so I don't either drain or reset the last drop target, but in doing so I am failing to keep the ball under control. "55 spins is pretty fun on a single rip when it's worth maximum points. I did it again. There's no reason to flip there. I was coming for the center post. I was going to be safe. Trust the post. Sadness, sadness. It stops spinning, otherwise half the time when you hit it, it doesn't actually register and spin. So usually when the ball's on the right flipper there, I'm aiming at the 2 bank, but sometimes I'm not always hitting it. That is the risk there. Let's just use the in-lane targets to drop all my drop targets. I have to start over though, bugger, too many. It's too much of a good thing. Ah. Screwed by the rollovers. This is one of those times when I wish the insert lights work properly, because I have no idea what my bonus multiplier is. I assume it's 5, but it may be 3. Okay. Managed to hit the spinner, but I also managed to reset the drops and drain. It's a pretty big first ball, though. Yeah, I must have had bonus multiplier pretty high. 800,000 first ball, plus I got an extra ball, but the extra ball light is out, so I didn't realize that. Cook post didn't work, but I managed to bail it out at least. Try and get the drop targets back where I want them. So I can shoot the spinner some. Spinner. Get the ball back under control so I can drain, I guess. Okay, so it rolled, so it's 1 over a million. Direct hit on the M. It's going to be the death of me. Too late on the 2 bank there. Wow, both the M and the E there bricked. That was probably savable. I was too trusting of the post because it bailed me out previously. There we go. Max the spinner. Immediately hit the stand up and reset the drops. I don't know why I did that. Slowed the ball down, but I kind of pushed it into the pop bumpers. I let the ball just sit at the top on the flipper rather than kind of flipping it, I wouldn't have reset the drops. Spinner would be worth a lot more. Thankfully, it's not like a modern game where there's a ton of setup to get to that point. You just do it again. Clearing the drops in one flip like that is super satisfying. Okay. Spam the spinner. Do not go. Lost the spinner shot. Too sad. Come on. Okay, back under control. Reset this drops. Boo. Must have had an extra ball, because we're still on ball 3. Bugger. Okay, that's where I want the drops to be. Just gonna get the ball back to the left flipper. Got some flipper hop. Didn't quite roll down the flipper cleanly to get onto to hit the post for the pass. The R drop target is sometimes dropping immediately when it resets, because I did not hit it there that previous time anyway, but it reset anyway. Okay. So that was 1.94 million, which is not a bad game. I'm definitely going to change it back, or change it to 3-ball. The next time I open it up, because that'll make it a little bit harder to roll. I don't know if this is one of these games that adjusts the scoring if you for 3 versus 5 ball. I think it can't be, because all the values are printed on the playfield, so it's not like it can change the scoring for drop targets or anything, right? Because they're all on the playfield. So yeah, that'll definitely cut down the scoring, and then if I'm still getting there like every, I don't know, 2 or 3 games or whatever, then I will probably pull the outlane posts and see how that goes. Like, it's fun putting up good scores on it and ripping the spinner and stuff, but it's also like, it can take a little bit longer than I'd like. And naturally, as soon as the drop targets and the spinner value resets, I can make a amazing spinner rip. Silly kind of drop catch, and I put the ball in the wrong place. Come on. Absolute disaster. What am I doing? Had an amazing game, so now I'm trying to get fancy. All we gotta do is the basics. Up and out the outlane. Okay, it was not a great game. Time for one more good one, then I'm going to call it a night. Okay. That was an absolute mess. That shot was way too early. I was trying to aim for the two bank on the top left, and somehow I hit the pop bumper, which is nowhere near that. And that was holding up the flipper for no reason. That was a bad feed. Early, then late. And I reset the drop bank. Come on. That wasn't great. I want to do that again. Somehow now, like, anything less than like 800,000 is disappointing. But I think my first ball there was like less than 20,000, so I have lots of room for improvement on that. Because again, I flipped it away when I should have been trapping it up or dead bouncing it. Jeez. Biggest skill issue here is decision making. There we go. Okay. Somehow I'm missing that 2-bank quite early and hitting the pop bumper, which is a bad look. That was dumb, that was savable. I kind of mentally gave up when the shot went nowhere near where I was intending it to go. Love it, I rolled the spinner counter. Spinner is so satisfying. Should have waited for it to stop spinning because it did not count for anything. Okay. It's such a fun, such a fun pass. A little backflip to the post pass. The Kirk, that's not a post pass, it's a Kirk pass. Post pass has an entirely different connotation. And then I break it. Oh well, that was not a terrible game. I'm going to stop there. Go do something different for a bit. Thank you all for stopping by. Have a good afternoon or evening wherever you are. Oh, extra ball. I'll play my extra ball. The extra ball light is out, so I had no idea that that was the case. Okay. Now I'm going to head out for real, because that definitely was not worth an extra ball. Yeah, have a good evening, bass tone. Thanks for stopping by.